Hi band, it's Mr. Anderson. So a lot of people have been turning in practice recordings of themselves playing Galactic episodes, so I thought it would be good to go over at least the beginning part for you. Galactic episode is something that we might end up playing at a concert next year. It's a weird one, at least the beginning, to do as a virtual band if we can't rehearse it in person. Although if you want to give it a try, we can talk about it. What makes the beginning tricky is there is one long melody, and you see it on the screen right now, but no one plays the melody the entire time. The melody is split up between different instruments, and I have them labeled that way on the screen for you. I'm going to play the melody all the way through for you first, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. So here's the entire melody from Galactic episode. At the beginning, anyway. So that's what the audience will hear when you play Galactic episode, but no one has that part. I've got it labeled on the screen so you can see at the beginning just the flutes play the melodies by themselves, play the melody by themselves. The pickups to 5, the trumpets and sax play the melody together. The pickups to 9, it's the flutes and trumpet. At the pickup to 13, it's the trumpets and clarinets. Pickups to 17, it's the clarinet and saxophone. And then things get odd at the end where the flutes play the melody all by themselves for about 3 beats, and then the trumpets join in, and the flutes and trumpets together have the melody for the last 4 beats of this. When I made this screen, I forgot to put on a rit. It should slow down, and I didn't in my performance. It slows down somewhere about here. And there's also, you'll notice, a fermata at the end. If you kept on going, the next measure is allegro, so there's a completely different tempo change. Some things that I need you to be aware of if you're going to practice this. The first thing, for the flutes, you have an accidental on this note here. I'm reading a trumpet part, so my part has an F sharp in it. For the flutes, that note is E natural. The reason I point that out to you is because that E natural will carry over to this one as well. So for me, it's an F sharp. For you, it would be an E natural. So there's 2 E naturals in that bar. If you played an E flat all by yourself, it would be a slightly different melody, but it would still sound pretty good. However, if we play with the entire band and you played an E flat when the music calls for an E natural, it wouldn't be a very pleasing effect. The next thing I want to point out is all of the slurs that are there. They should be played very smoothly and connectedly. I've noticed in some recordings people have been sending in that they're playing all of the right notes in the right order, but they're stopping the air between notes. You should have noticed in my recording that I played straight through with long streams of air and only stopping the air to take breaths at the ends of phrases. One more thing I want to point out to you before I play it one more time is I made sure that I was aware of the phrasing. Notice how when I played it, I didn't play all of the notes the exact same volume. I took my own advice from the video that I made a few weeks ago, and I picked the high point of the phrase and crescendo to that high point, and then backed away as the phrase ended. This phrase here in particular, I hope you notice I crescendoed to the 3rd note of the phrase, and then backed away after that. This phrase has a high point very early at the very, very beginning. And clarinets, it's the only place where you have the melody in the beginning, so make the most of it, make sure you crescendo to that. I'm going to play it for you one more time. It'd be a good idea if you played along with me. Maybe you could stop, practice this piece, and then you can come back and you could rehearse Galactic episode right along with me, either playing you can't play, unless you play trumpet, you can't play the entire thing that I've got on the screen, but you could have your part out, and you could listen to me play the whole thing, and you could just play when your part happens. So this time I'll do it with a click track so you can hear the click on my metronome and it'll be easier for you to play right along with it. Here we go. One. So you can play along with that as many times as you like. There's also the professional recording of it. If you go to Classroom under resources at the very, very bottom, there's a listening library link that has all of the complete recordings from the full band music on Accent on Achievement, including Galactic episode. You can listen to the whole thing just for reference. You could also choose to play along with it. As always, thanks for stopping by.